Hey there, ocean enthusiasts. Welcome back to another mind-blowing video on our channel. Freaky figures. Today, we have an extraordinary topic that has fascinated mankind for centuries. Yes, you guessed it right. We're diving deep into the mysteries of mermaids. Mermaids, those mythical beings with the upper body of a human and the lower body of a fish. Mermaids have been a part of human folklore for centuries, and while some may dismiss them as myths, there have been numerous sightings of these elusive creatures throughout history. The question remains, are these mystical creatures just a figment of our imagination? Or could they actually exist? Before we dive into the top sightings, let's explore the origins of mermaids. These enchanting creatures have been part of myths and legends for thousands of years, transcending cultures and generations. From ancient cave paintings to folklore passed down through generations, the idea of mermaids has persisted throughout history. Alright, here are our top picks of mermaid sightings throughout history. Unlike the fakes and hoaxes that passed around, these sightings have something a little truer and different about their claims. Something about them makes it hard to deny the existence of mermaids. Brace yourselves as we embark on a journey into the depths of the unknown. Number 10. Our first stop takes us back in time to ancient Gaul during the 2nd century. The Roman writer Pliny the Elder was a scientific authority whose 37-volume natural history was consulted for over 1,000 years. In his Natural History 9:4.9-11, he describes a bizarre assortment of otherworldly sightings of supernatural sea creatures. Pliny the Elder has mentioned and describes numerous sightings of mermaids off the coast of Gaul. Mermaid corpses were found to be frequently washed up on shore with their bodies covered all over in scales. He also comments that the governor of Gaul even wrote a letter to Emperor Augustus to inform him about these mythical creatures. 9. The famous explorer Christopher Columbus wrote in his diary that on his first voyage to the Americas, he and his crew spotted 3 mermaids off the coast of Hispaniola in 1493. He had said that, unlike folklore, these creatures weren't beautiful due to some masculine features on their faces. Historians debunk them as possible sightings of manatees. But nobody really knows what Columbus actually saw. Number 8. One of the most famous and feared pirates in history has mentioned the possibility of mermaids in his logbook. He had instructed his crew on several voyages to stay away from certain charted waters that he called enchanted because of mermaids in these areas that Blackbeard and his crew members had reported seeing. 7. The local villagers in the Kai Islands of Indonesia had a creature that they were familiar with. They called it the orang ikan, translated as manfish. During World War II in 1943, the Japanese soldiers stationed there learned that this was no myth. These soldiers stationed in a 555 square mile area in the islands had multiple claims of encounters with these manfish, or as the modern world calls them, mermaids. These amphibious creatures, measuring about 150 centimeters tall, had spikes on their spine, shoulders, and neck. A sergeant named Mr. Taro requested the villagers to inform him if any of the orang ikan were captured dead or alive. The soldiers summoned the general soon after, who saw these creatures with his own eyes as well. Mr. Taro tried his best to get the scientific community involved after the war, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. Number 6. In 2012, Zimbabwe dam workers were trying to install a water pump for local agriculture. When the pumps were blocked, local workers and divers were hired to see what was blocking these pipes. After submerging to investigate these pipes and resurfacing, these local divers and workers swore they would never return to those waters again because they had seen a mermaid. But the government didn't believe the workers and their claims of seeing a mermaid in the depths, so they hired divers and dam workers from outside. But these new people reported seeing the same thing and refused to go back in there to finish the repairs. It's not just the dam and its workers. The people of that land had no doubt about mermaids existing, and several have claimed that they've seen the proof and even the mermaids themselves. To this day, the dam is still not finished. 5. This huge incident had the media, the public, and the government all involved to uncover the mysterious mermaid sighting in Kiryat in Israel. In 2009, some onlookers said that there was a creature that resembled a young girl who would often be found on the beach doing tricks in the water. They kept seeing her for a number of days. It took a while for the news to spread and reach the general public and get the government involved. When the government did finally get involved, they issued a $1 million reward for anyone who could provide solid proof of the mermaid's existence. Capturing the mermaid was not necessary, and just a photo would suffice. When the news was out, NBC got out to do some investigation of their own with a film crew at Kiryat. They filmed morning and night, above and below the waters, hoping to get some kind of footage of the mermaid. Then late one night, the crew claimed to have seen a human figure dipping into the water. The research crew did their best to follow the mermaid and capture it on camera, but it was to no avail. The mermaid disappeared, and the crew was left without solid proof except for some findings and shots by bystanders of the mermaid dipping into the sea. All the footage by both the crew and the bystanders was transferred to the Center for Coastal Ocean Research in Los Angeles. Michael Schacht, the center's director, examined the evidence and said that although it was impossible to clearly state that the figure in the footage is a mermaid, it still remained a high possibility. The $1 million reward still stands, and tourists and locals are still on the lookout. 4. Jeff Leisure, a diver who is a videographer at the Jack Diving Locker of Kauai, claims that he not only saw but came into brief contact with a mermaid. He was 20 minutes off the coast of Kauai when he saw what looked like a woman just 10 feet away, swimming with a pod of dolphins and keeping up with their fast pace, which Leisure thought was obviously odd. She suddenly jumped into the air, revealing her fishtail. There were 10 people on the boat that said they saw the same thing. They were only able to see her jump twice before she disappeared into the water. Leisure thought that was all, and he dived into the water to take some photographs of marine life, perhaps hoping he would get a capture of the mermaid too. An hour later, the same mermaid brushed against him while swimming away. Leisure quickly snapped images and was able to capture her in one photo as she swam away above them. These images were submitted to 3 high-profile photography labs, which analyzed them and said the images were real and hadn't been tampered with. 3. The accounts of their existence still emerges, like this hastily shot video captured in 2005 off the Adriatic coast, where a real mermaid found caught in nets. This is the most recent sightings comes from deep-sea fishermen. Number 2. This is supposedly leaked footage from the UK Coast Guard from a 2003 nighttime rescue exercise. The website Mulder's World also features this video, stating that according to the Royal British Navy, this crew was involved with a man overboard exercise, and while on the way to the coordinates of the report, they located what they thought was a human in the water, but not at the location noted. Officials describe this as a common seal. What do you think? Number 1. March 6, 2013. Marine geologist Dr. Torsten Schmidt released extraordinary footage of what he believes to be a mermaid that he captured on camera during one of his deep-sea explorations. Contracted by the Iceland Geosurvey, Dr. Schmidt and his Danish team worked on seismic mapping and sampling of the ocean floor to locate promising sites for oil and natural gas reserves. At nearly 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters below the ocean's surface, Dr. Schmidt reported not only seeing some interesting phenomenon, but also hearing some remarkable things. After reporting to the Iceland Geosurvey about the strange sounds he heard when he was scanning the ocean floor, he requested to undertake an investigation, which was declined. Dr. Schmidt told journalist John Frankel on Animal Planet's documentary, Mermaids, the New Evidence. Dr. Schmidt ended up conducting his own investigation where he took down 2 cameras on every dive, just in case we see them. Commenting on his footage, Dr. Schmidt said John Frankel, "Well, I looked at it and knew I was looking into the face of another intelligent species, like us." That brings us to the end of our mesmerizing journey through the top 10 famous real sightings of mermaids. Many people around the world believe that mermaids do exist that live in the ocean's depths. But many others assume the ancient myths of these creatures are based on sightings of marine animals, like manatees and dugongs. Let us know what do you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this enchanting adventure, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow mermaid enthusiasts. And remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell, so you never miss out on any of our captivating content. Thanks for watching.